And welcome to this week's exciting edition of your favorite show, Yilungelo Lakho. It's your right. Sizakune Kgomo la kumamba phambili SABC 1 Mzansi for sure. Siyatholakala futhi ku SABC Plus uma phela wena you've downloaded the app. Lona ke uMangcolosi, uMazikhali, uShongololo, uAlisha, uNonhlanhla. Amagama ami wonke lawo. Bukela indaba yethu esibhekile namhlanje ke. Sibhekene phela nendima edlalwa nguhulumeni walapha eNingizimu Afrika ekusizeni futhi nasekuletheni izidingo ezithenjiswe phansi kweConstitution yakuleli. Njengoba ke futhi imbukeli sigubha phela inyanga yokunikezelwa kwezidingo phecelezi iPublic Service Month. Ingabe uyibona njani wena indima phela edlalwe nguhulumeni kulomkhakha? Asingabe samosha isikhathi singenishi endabeni yethu. Yebo mbukele sinye phela sezidingo ezisemqoka empilweni yomuntu. Yilungelo phela lokuthola umazisi phecelezi your identity document ukuthi umuntu phela akwazi ukuthola izinto ezifana nemfundo, nezempilo, umsebenzi nakho konke okudingeka empilweni. Kodwa ke owesifazane wala eGoli usasokola ngempela ukuthola umazisi wakhe empilweni yakhe nje yonke akakaze abe nawo umazisi. Lokho ke kusho ukuthini imbukeli? Kusho ukuthi akukho okuhle okulungayo phela empilweni yakhe. Kodwa sizwe naludaba lakhe.
Ubonelelo ngenkonzo zikawonke-wonke yinto amagosa aseburhulumenteni nabemibeli abazinca ngayo kule nyanga yomsinsi uSeptemba ngolwasemzini. Kaloku nenkqubo egama lithi bathupile ivakalisa ukuzinikezela kukarhulumente ekuboneleleni ngeenkonzo ezingundoqo eluntwini. Kodwa ngeshwa abantu abanjengokoketso Jiyane ominyaka ingama-21 waseRhawutini abananto yokubhiyozela kule nyanga ngoko seneminyaka esehla esonyuka efuna isazisi akazange abe nayo ibirth certificate oko wazalwa.
I was born in Tembisa Hospital 2002 nge-8 July and then ngikhulele lana bengihlala no-aunt wami nobabami and then 2014 ubabami washona so ngasala no-aunt wami. So lento yama-birth certificate I think ubabami uyiqale 2009 but because of age mina nginothise mesekaqala hamba nathi yabona sithatha ama blood test siya kuma children's court kwelapho bengibona khona ukuthi asinayo nanoma esikolweni but ama documents wenu ayashoda and all of that kula ngibone khona ukuthi ngathi angina birth certificate.
Uyise wasoleka ngo-2014 engekaphumeleli kumalinge okumfumanela uxwebhu oluqinisekisa ukuzalwa kwakhe i-birth certificate ngelamakhumsha. Noxa kunjalo akazange ayazi imiqobo engaziswa sesi simo. Uthemva kokuba beshiwe nguyise yena kunye nomninawo wakhe wancediswa ngudabawo wakhe uquqa kwiofisi zase-Home Affairs bezamana nale ID nanjengoko lalisondele ixesha lokuba abhale uviwo lwematriki.
Sile e-Home Affairs siphethe ama-affidavit. Okay, norahade yakhe wayibhala saya nama-children sibayipruvele ukuthi ubaba uzamile but then basitshela ukuthi bafuna umama. Okay, basifuna i-proof of birth. Ngayoyifuna eThembisa, ngabuya nayo, ngabanikeza but still sa-applya last lokhu basijikisa and then last year sithe mes-applya it was June and then bathi cable theft in bathatha azange bangithatha nama-fingerprints no basijikisa.
Okajiyane uquqe e-Home Affairs wade waxelelwa ukuba emede afumane isimemo sabo sodliwano-ndlebe xesha elo ubomi bakhe bumingxi.
I can't apply for ama-varsities, I can't go to school. Uzohlala la ekhaya elokishini ujike nelanga and yiyo lento ozoyenza because yonke into ifuna ID noma ungaya kuphi. Even mentally so it drains me because yabona kuvela almost everything. Awukwazi uapplyela amaphoyisa khona manje bekunama-post aphumile. Ayona iyangidraina but sometimes kumele ube strong, you can't just ukhale in everything. You just gotta be strong, so yeah.
Udabawo wakhe omkhulisileyo noyingwevukazi eneminyaka ingama-74 uthi eyona nto imxhele emphefumlweni zingcinga zokuba xa enokubashiya bobabini aba bantwana bangayaphina.
Ukuthi bawugcina benze njani labantwana bangizwisa ubuhlungu ngoba bafundile bacedile. Ngoba uma ungana-ID ungana-birth certificate awusiyi next. Phela sengimdala 74 years. Angisese umntwana. Angifuni nje ukukhuluma ngayo ngoba ingizwisa ubuhlungu. Mina sekuseduze la ngiyakhona. Bayoba yini labantwana? Ayaphuma njengoba atsho ama-post aphume kaningi. I-UD yasebenza. Bakhona bagcoka ama-overall abhubha, bakhona ba-brown, bakhona ba-green. Abakwazi. Babukela abangani babo benza izinto bona bakwazi.
Uthe yona nto ebhidayo kukuba akasaze sona sizathu sokungancedakali kwabo.
Sathi masifike Home Affairs, wathi uDelma lo phethe Home Affairs, niphethe wonke ama-document a-right. Ngiyacakeka labantwana nanamhlanje bangakabi nama-birth certificate, mar still uyasifeyila naye. Iyangilimaza ngoba uma ngingana-next ngiyahamba ngiyothatha inkamela. Yayazi inkamela. Uma ubuya emholweni, kosa le mali inamankonyana. Iyangilimaza kakhulu. Kukumanye ngiyacabanga ithi impuphu iyaphela. Kosa ngibuyele enkameleni.
Kule nyanga iqatshelwa njenge-Public Service Month, amasebe nawo onke amaziko karhulumente abethelela ukubaluleka konikezelo ngenkonzo eluntwini. Kukhuthazwa ukuba kuxhonywe umgangatho ekubonelelweni koluntu ngenkonzo ngendlela efanelekileyo. Nobathembu Zantsi, Yilungelo Lakho.
Bongela sibonge kakhulu ke ngaloyo mbiko. Ukukhuluma kabanzi ke ngokuthi phela sizixazulula kanjani inkinga esiyithola lapha kuma public service offices wethu. Masamukele amagesi wethu namhlanje sina intokazo sis Irene Mathenjwa omele iPublic Service Commission. Siphinde sibe naye ubaba Emmanuel Kgomo, yena ke uvela khona ncamashi lapha eDepartment of Public Service and Administration besibamemile ke mbukeli nabase Home Affairs. Kodwa ke azange sikwazi ukuthi sibathole. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Sis Irene kunjani Ntokazi, welcome to the show.
Masibingelele Machali, sibingelele nababukeli ekhaya.
Sis Irene, awusichazele kancane because I'm sure a lot of people abazi ukuthi iPublic Service Commission yenzani. Before we start with the show, yini umsebenzi we-office lenu?
So, iPublic Service Commission is a Chapter 10 institution in terms of the Constitution. We do quite a number of things. In simple terms, one of the things that we do, we look into issues of human resources. Laba basebenzela uhulumeni in the public service, national and provincial government. So we look into issues of recruitment, we look into issues of performance management, transfers, and so on. But you would know ukuthi kwamanje kukhuluma ngalento kuthiwa professionalization.
Yes.
So that we make sure that we've got the right people that we can put in the public service.
The relevant skills.
The relevant skills and the competencies and the proficiency to be able to do the work. But what is important in there is the right people that are going to respond to the needs of the people.
Absolutely.
Beyond just your qualification and so on. So that is one stream of work that we do. So secondly, we do work around professional ethics and integrity.
Okay.
So there we deal with issues of, you know, your professional conduct. We deter issues of fraud and corruption and so on. But what we are also saying is it's not enough to have public servants that says, no, I don't steal, I don't. But we want you to be at work at the time that you're supposed to be at work. We want you to interact with the citizen in a professional manner. We want you to earn your salary, genuinely so. And then we look into issues of your financial disclosures, and so that's one stream of work.
Okay.
The interesting area that I want to talk to now is the one about service delivery.
Yes.
So there really we go out to public service institutions such as your police station, your schools, your home affairs, your correctional services. So there are two things that we do there. One would be to masquerade sometimes what we call unannounced inspections. We go and sit on those benches and we really want to understand what is the experience of the citizen. Yes. And we see it for ourselves. And when we see that for ourselves, that's when the Public Service Commission begin to say on the spot recommendations, this is not allowed. Then we call on to the HOD or the Director General or even the Minister of the Department to say, as Public Service Commission, as we're speaking right now, We are in Nina
Branch
Sita.
ekubukuphi.
Yes, and this is what we are seeing. And this has to be corrected now. But we also get an opportunity of interacting with the citizens so that we hear what are the things that they are.
Firsthand.
Yes, firsthand, to hear the things that they're not happy with. Now, the other area that we do is what we call citizens forums. So in citizens forums, we will choose a location in the country where we go and meet with the leaders in that location, municipality, to say, abantu bemphakathi bakule ndawo iziphi izidingo zenu uhulumeni angakazivezi. Then they will tell us it's home affairs, it's health, it's this
Police,
and
yonke
that, police and so on. And in doing so, we realize that, oh, okay, these services are amanye national, amanye provincial, amanye local. And interesting things is, Majal, is that we also find that some of the services are actually for the private sector. And they say, anginayo a bank account. So it makes it difficult for me to actually get my salary, my grant, my social grant,
Yes.
because I don't have bank card. So as Public Service Commission, we call on all those stakeholders and we brief them. We say, on a date like this, we are going to a community Mandeni. We want you, because we have got the responsibility to hold, you know, the executive and the accounting officer accountable.
Okay.
We call them, we say, on this date, we are going with you. We want answers.
All right.
People want answers on this. But the last thing that I just want to reflect
Very quickly, Sis Irene.
is the issue of the constitutional values and principles. We have the responsibility to promote that. And amongst others is making sure that we respond to the needs of the people. We bring in public participation, transparency, so on and so on.
So in a nutshell, you are the watchdog in Gadeni. Wonke ama services afola under Untate Kgomo. Ntate Kgomo, welcome to the show, Baba, once again. I mean, siyayazi DPSA, and of course, we thank you so much for joining us. And of course, lenyanga le, we're actually celebrating a public service month. So basically, muboni insert nje ya Ntate Kgomo, ucabangani wena ukuthi there is an individual in South Africa who's a South African-born citizen in 2023 who still has never had an ID document but has been to Home Affairs countless number of times.
Mangibingelele nami Sis Alicia. Ngibingelele futhi naba the viewers out there. I feel sad mangibona le insettle because into esihlangabezana nayo almost every day. Siyabanceda abanye kodwa like this young person.
Yes.
Uthi yena umama akamazi ubaba ushonile. Now inikeza i-home affairs inkinga because akuna i-verification ukuthi really uyi South African. Manje kodwa ngiyabona une-auntie.
Uyasho wazalwa esibhedlela sakhona lana yebo baba.
Because I'm sure ukuthi singamnceda naye. If singathola nje ama contact details wakhe la hlala khona singamnceda ngespeed futhi because it's just a matter yokuthi sithole u-auntie omaziyo from his birth. If u-auntie is a direct sister yababakhe, it's even better because nge-DNA you can
verify.
Yeah, so there these kind of problems we can really solve them.
Okay.
Kodwa the problems ezingihlupha kakhulu ila undocumented foreigners. Bala both told ukuthi the father and the mother are foreigners. Kodwa umntwana uzalela ekhaya, then bashone or ba disappear. Abanye vele bashiya abantwana bazihambele. Now that kid agana any contact nokuthi ubani omaziyo ubani ozothi maybe ne DNA ngaba khona, that's a serious problem esinayo.
But then as a Home Affairs, let's assume ukuthi usisi is South African and it's just that abazali akabazi but she's got extended family in Tate Kgomo. I mean, for this long, that is an adult who now cannot write matric, who now cannot have access to the workspace, who now cannot have access to any services because basically they don't exist.
Yeah.
I mean, for so long, and it's not the first time. I know, Guti, this is not your department specifically. We had asked Home Affairs to come and account, but unfortunately, abazange baspendulo. So how do you then, Nina, as a DPSA, go to Home Affairs and say, listen, you really need to up your game, Guti nyugisa masogisi ukuthi nincede abantu mayelana neenkinga ezinje tata home.
The first thing, okay, mina obviously ngizosebenzisana nalaba abaku national office.
Yeah.
Then sithola ukuthi a legal office where the person
has been going, yes.
Sithola ukuthi inkinga ikuphi. Because sometimes it's communication nje. Because if umuntu akakwazi ukuthola uncedo at the local office, uyakwazi kuya ku regional office noma ku national office. Kulapho azothola uncedo khona. If still akatholi uncedo kulama offices we Home Affairs completely, uza ke ithi ku DPSA.
Okay.
Then ithi ke sizomvulela iminyango sikhulumisane nalaba se Home Affairs. But si understand ukuthi inkinga ikuphi.
Okay.
Bakhona abathatha ama chance.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So we have to be careful nakhona ukuthi sibanceda kanjani. Kodwa a genuine problem efana nale iyacazuleka.
Okay.
So if angathola nje ama contact details wakhe singamnceda.
All right. Yeah. Now, Sis Irene, are these some of the, like, can the public, before Ngiti, are these some of the issues in Dila now, Nina, directly as an office? Is the public allowed to come directly to the commission, or reporter issues like this? Uguti, we haven't had ilokuzana uncedo, but hold that thought. We're going to take a quick ad break in Bugeli. After that, I'll be opening your lines. Uschele wena Uguti, what has been your experience uma uya kuma public service offices, sisho Home Affairs, mapoiseni. Niluthola kanjani lolo ncedo? I've got my guest today. Abazobe besiza ukuthi Nina, if nama complaints ngala niye khona, what do you do? We're back shortly after this right now. Welcome back to Yilungelo Lakho, and we are talking today about izinkinga mbukeli ohlangabezana nazo uma wena uya to one of our public service offices njengoba phela sigubha i-Public Service Month. Usungashayela ucingo la e-studio 011-714-0669, alternatively 011-714-0670. consumer@sabc.co.za is our email address, and sikhona futhi on WhatsApp 0608449857. Alternatively, go to our Facebook page as well as on Twitter. My guest today is Irene Mathenjwa. She is from the Public Service Commission alongside Untate Emmanuel Kgomo ovela lapha e-DPSA. Okwamanje ake sizuthi nina emgaqweni nithini ngale ndaba.
With our government clinics, let me start with the clinics. Ngizokhuluma ngento ekhe yayenzeka kimi. Ubrother wami bekagwaziwe 2 weeks ago. Masifika sadimanda i-service, we had to ukuthi silwe ephuma igazi. We were not attended until aze alimala aphuma igazi eliningi bagcine bamtransfer esibhedlela. So ama-public services esiwatholayo awekho right, like everywhere you go.
So far I'm happy with the police service, the hospital service, clinic service. Only departments I'm not so happy about is Home Affairs, because I do have an issue that I'm trying to get done with. It's taking me up to 5 years to get my son registered because he was born and his mother didn't have a birth certificate at the time. So I'm not with the mother. I've been given the run around.
The issues that we're facing right now is the long queues, the offline. The system gets offline most of the time, and sometimes people travel from far.
Mina nginenkinga kakhulu uma uye ngesikhathi esithile ngingaya Home Affairs. I think isikhathi it was 20 past 2 to 2:30 on Friday. Ama security asivimba emaponya, and then they were saying ama manager athi kungasangeni umuntu. So according to me ngazi ukuthi kufanele ukuthi kuze kuvalwe ngo-4. They were very rude unto us.
Most of the government departments, whenever they render their service, they actually forget the issue of Batupele principles, because the Batupele principles must serve as a guideline. It's like you forget your principles, you forget what drives you as an individual within that organization.
Very interesting reviews indeed, knowing ukuthi phela siyazi ukuthi South Africa ithi ke uma uya in any of these public services kumele bakubeke phambili bathupile. Sis Irene, I mean, before siya ekhefini, before we even comment on those inserts, I mean, I wanted to find out if the public can directly come to you to come and complain without you going to conduct an overstudy or an oversight visit in a specific public service office. Can they come and bring their complaints like we've just seen on the Voxies right now?
By all means, we get a lot of complaints, and we really encourage members of the public where they have failed. They've been failed by the departments to come to us. Yes, bayafika basitshele ukuthi kunama cases of home affairs, of police, various forensic science lab where they've not been able to bury a child for months because balinde report. Amaphoyisa case. So we do get those cases, and the Public Service Commission engages then with the department to say here is an issue, and we give them particular timelines to really deal with these issues. But what is also important is that when you come to the Public Service Commission, we have established what we call a rapid response unit. Because sesiyabona ukuthi i-department ikufeyilile. So a Public Service Commission must make sure that at least a case yako is being attended to with speed. So, and a Public Service Commission within a mandate yayo iyakwazi ukusamonsa DG of the department and say this thing has not happened. And we go to Parliament again and we report on these things. So yes, bangafika a Public Service Commission sikwazi ukubasisa. We have assisted a whole lot of them.
Akuphi ama-office ntokazi nationwide?
Okay, we have got offices in the 9 provinces, and we also have a national office which is in Pretoria in Arcadia.
Okay, all right. Hopefully, I hope ama-producers wam lapho azobeka iy'number zenu nama-contact details as well as where these offices are nationwide, so that we can also encourage the public ukuthi nikwazi ukuthi menibona ukuthi ngempela you are being sent from pillar to post indaba yenu nje abayizwa, you go straight to the Public Service Commission. All right, let's go to the lines now. Aphiwe Mbele and Mount Freya, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Singakunceda kanjani today?
Hello, Sisunjani.
Ndiphilile Sisunjani?
Ndiyaphila enkosi. Mna umbono wami sisi after ingxaki ndiyendaba nayo ngo-Home Affairs waseMountfree. Ndithanda ucebisa into abana ngaba abantu bangabasebenzi bakhona babe careful about ingxaki, because from umama wami wenza i-ID but then i-ID yakhe yangabuyeli kuye yabuyelwa komnye umuntu xa sefuna usenzela ibhesi kwathiwa unabantwana bayi-7 under her name, of which is not by-4 ekhaya.
How?
Then loo nto leyo yenza uba singakwazi ke ngokufumana ibhesi. Ndiye ndafunda umatric ndifunda kabuhlungu, ndisoloko ndisenza i-affidavit because i-ID bendingenayo, and then kwabe kusithiwa andiveli phantsi kwakhe andingomntana wakhe, of which kwaye kwanyanzela uba ndide ndifonele ePretoria ukuze ingxaki yam ilungiseke.
And then Aphiwe, what happened eventually? Were you able to resolve the issues yokuthi awuna ID?
Sisibhathatha ixesha to epointweni into yobana ngaba ndide ndafumana umsebenzi ndangakwazi uya esikolweni because bekufuneka i-ID, because I was over 18 that time. Now ndina 22. I-ID bingaphumi kungenzeki mix bathi mandenze unabridged birth certificate. Awaphuma kwathi umama akangomama wami, mhlawumbi senze i-fraud.
Njani? You Aphiwe. And then Kausia Pagwe office le Home Affairs, but how did they come up with this information? Like, was it on the system? By Fumenenjanle information that they are selling to you, Uba, you are not the birth child, Yamamako?
But unveil phansi kwakhe andinamntu nje mna wakhe wandenzela i-birth certificate, so ndivela njengomntu engenamzali eSouth Africa.
Aphiwe siyabulela nenana. Thank you so much for your contribution this afternoon. Tata Kgomo, this is a very hectic issue, and I think even with Ama Vox Pops we saw the biggest issue here that people have when it comes to public service, it is mostly Home Affairs, and unfortunately they could not come. Well, they didn't want to come or they couldn't come today, but they should be here answering for themselves, Uguti. Why are people being sent from pillar to post or not even being assisted? We've just heard Aphiwe Uti, when she went there to inquire, they were giving her attitude, they didn't want to assist her. A lot of people on Vox Pops were saying that the consultants are rude, they come there, seguvaliwe early, there's long queues, all these things. So how are you going to deal with izingxaki as Ntate Kgomo going forward, leaving this show and giving abantu bethu hope ukuthi it is going to be resolved?
The first thing, the problems can be solved.
Yes.
It's not like these are insurmountable problems.
But naku azisolvekile Ntate Kgomo.
So it means then Batupili comes in the sense yokuthi all these officials need to be taken through again through Batupili. And it's not just Batupili principles ezokhuluma ngazo. We're also talking about the Public Service Charter. It's a signed contract between the state and employees the state. Kuba sizonceda umphakathi ngalolu hlobo. So those commitments have been made. They are in place now.
Which means they reneged on Idiliabonegui contract, which means no, they don't need to be re-submitted through the process. No. Or something.
Well, we are working on that one actually, because with Home Affairs, the unit S7 is actually responsible for all the complaints from the whole country. They process those and iboke abanceda from national office.
Okay, are there any consequences kulaba abanga abide by the Batupile principles? As you are saying, Tata Kgomo, when are you saying kumele babuyiselwe esikoleni bayofunda ngalama principles of which they're already in their contracts?
No, it's not just principles. It's also how to work.
Yeah.
We've realized Kuba, you employ somebody, take them through orientation, induction, kodwa the information kunalaisa lakhona bangayithuli kahle. So when an official under pressure, instead of admitting ukuthi bona kulento lena I don't know how to do it, afuna uncedo elsewhere, uzo ignore the person who needs a service, ambekele eceleni, then ufuna ukuqhubeka ngezinye izinto. So those are things emphasize on public officials. Okay. You know, you can also say, I don't know. It's not Uguti, it's a shame. Especially in cases like this one.
Yes.
Identifying the mother's ID with exactly one, and so forth. Now, instead of following that until batoli answer, and that's not correct.
Because I'm till this day there's a digitization system overhaul wonke departments public service. By now we should really not be talking about issues ukuthi South Africans do not have access or even have valid ID books. Welcome back. My lines are fully open. 011-714-0670. Alternatively, 714-0669. consumer@sabc.co.za is our email address. Ungasithola futhi on WhatsApp 060-844-9857. My guest today is Irene Mathenjwa. She is from the Public Service Commission alongside Untate Emmanuel Kgomo of the Department of Public Service and Administration. Phecelezi i-DPSA sikhuluma mbukeli ngenkinga wena ohlangabezana nazo phela uma uya Home Affairs in any of the public services uncedo olutholayo, the attitude oyitholayo, sicela usifonele sibampimpe namhlanje so that kuzoba khona into ezokwenzeka. All right, silindile la eSoweto Ntokazi, siyakwamukela ohleleni, singanceda kanjani kodwa this afternoon?
Yebo sikunjani?
Ngiyaphila sesikunjani?
Ngiyaphila. Bengicela ukusizakala nami, ngifunela umntwana isikole futhi ngihamba ngiye e-district education le esephindile Soweto.
Yebo.
Sekunesikhathi eside nje ngilo ngiya bangifuna amafomu mangibuya nalawa kusuke kushoda lawa umntwana uhleli ngaleso sikhathi akafundi.
Okay. Uyilowe uku grade 8, between the grade 8 and grade 1 sisilindele.
Bekala grade 2 la bekafunda khona indaba kusema special school abuya.
Oh, ungena ku special school.
Yeah, bekase-special school la emakhaya bekakhona. Manje kuthi ngiyathola futhi special school ngimthuthile ukuthi ngifuna ukumletha ngapha ngaseGoli ngoba mina ngiseGoli bekase-KZN. So kwaloku bangifuna amafomu ngibuyela esikoleni mangibuya nawo lawo mafomu bangicela ukuthi kushoda amanye so kuyadilaya nje it seems like abaniselanga ukuthi ngisizakale.
Okay, uye kiphi department sisilindile?
Education district eSephimville.
Oh, okay, ubuso education. So bakufuna ama-forms wawaletha uwalethe baloke bekubuyisele emuva
nangale. And then kuyashoda futhi ngeke abafuni into eqhamuka kimi kumele asende i-district yasemakhaya isendele i-provincial isendele yaseJoburg nje i-process nje end which is angazi ukuthi mina ngizoyenza kanjani.
Okay, sisilindile ngicela bandla uzama ukushiya inamba zakho lapho nama-producers wethu so that sizokhona ukuthi sidlulisele kwivakashi zethu sibone ukuthi mhlambe mesingakhona ukuthi sikusize emoyeni bona bangakusiza kanjani after the show. Sis Irene, what can you say about that? I mean, there's many issues here that are relevant and relatable to abantu abaningi. I mean, umntana in a special school kodwa yet they can't find placement and the department is sending this person back and forth. And this is interprovincial, by the way. It costs money.
So any problem esinayo majali it's the way we are structured in government. One can almost say that we are self-serving.
Yes.
Rather than serving the citizen. So there is no need for a person to be referred from one office to the other and so on.
Yes.
When a person has arrived, we need to make sure that they are assisted immediately.
Why are they working in silos?
You know, and in some instances, we find that that happens in the same department. Although in other instances, they happened across various departments. So those are some of the issues that we're dealing with. But in the case of OCC, it is important that people are given a reference number so that when you come back, we know where we ended. And what is the document that is required, and clarity so that people, when they go back, they know what to bring back. So when they come today, tomorrow they deal with another person, tomorrow they deal. So there is that to and fro, which is time wasting, money wasting on the part of the citizens. So I think it's important that we try and organize ourselves with the view of putting the citizen at the center and thinking about them when they come for those services.
Tata Kgomo, I mean, why are these departments working in silos where there is no collaboration between them? Uguti, if one comes to this department and we can't necessarily assist them, let's rope in Home Affairs, let's rope in education. Sibone ukuthi lo mkhakha lo afuna ukuthi kudilwe ngawo. I mean, you have those services. So why can't we work and collaborate as ama departments lawa e-service bab?
Mina, I would put it at a personal attitude.
Okay. So there is a policy that says the collaboration is allowed,
we are working
obviously.
in an integrated way.
Okay.
We try to encourage that. That is why saying about two song centers where you have all the services in one place.
In one place, yes.
So that if, for example, I can't have an affidavit, the police station mustn't be too far from the office that I need. We try also, like during this public service month, when we go out, we encourage all departments to be part of all the outreach programs, see Guma communities and provide those services. But singa Home Affairs kuphela noma isasa kuphela sonke all the departments sibe khona, including agriculture, abo labor babe khona, so that when you need services from either then zitholakale.
Okay. Ntata Kgomo, before siya kuyikhefu ngithe asibeke la le ndaba because we're talking about ama consequences abakhona if you find that certain departments or public service officers are not putting bathupile as prescribed in the policies and their affairs. So talk to us about that vetting process yokuthi ama employees wenu niwaqasha kanjani kanti if they cannot adhere to the basic principles of what you have put in your policies, your hiring policies.
Let me start with that, the last one, the vetting process. See, inzima kancane because the person onamandla okuhirish, it's the minister in a particular department. So it's not a centralized function.
Okay.
Minister can delegate to the HOD or a DG. So that one is a little bit difficult to control in a central way. But there are checks and balances.
Okay.
Before you hire somebody, you need to check their background.
Absolutely.
let alone the whole interview process. You check with Abubani, for example, there's somebody who was supposed to be my deputy director, and I was told after checking the background alone follow, they were dodgy. So then you look at the second person. If that also doesn't work, you restart the process.
Okay.
So it's a bit of a problem, because then it lengthens even the time of filling the post. But yeah, the vetting, yes, we do try to do that. But then you've got our offices as the outlying areas, like your rural areas. Now,
who's vetting there?
The controls there are a bit lax. Because they control everything.
Okay.
so that's where, and we can't just intervene. Yes, once a problem is established, that's when we intervene. But during the process itself, from DPSA side, we don't intervene.
Mamela says, Irene, I actually want you to hold that thought because I know you wanted to say a lot when it comes to Ilokuzana, the employment process and vetting. But I just need to quickly take Uteboho from Pretoria. He's been on the line for some time. Teboho, thank you so much for staying on the line. Welcome to the show. Today, but
hello, ma'am. I'm okay. Hey, can I speak in Zwana?
Yeah, yes, you can.
Okay. I have a younger brother. He's 20. I'm 31. We've been living together since 2009. The thing is, he never had an ID, and we don't know where our parents are. When we go to Home Affairs, wanted to do DNA, me and him, so they can identify us as brothers and all that. They refuse. They keep on saying I should go and look for our parents, while I can't find them, and it seems like they have nothing to do with us. So I need help with that, because we're doing a thing. He really needs an ID now, and I'm willing to do a DNA test to confirm that we are citizens, but they are not willing to help.
So Tebogo, how re alina batswadi like kapa o itse gore batswadi ba ko kae a gona le extended family le itseng le godisitse ke mang?
Because of I was 17.
Yeah. Okay, what happened to the parents?
We don't know where they are. We don't know. Last time we checked, they were in Bushbuck Ridge. My mother was in Bushbuck Ridge. My father is in Bushbuck, but we can't get hold of them. That was we decided to look for them, but we can't even find them. But we have some close relatives that are around, but no one is willing to help in a way.
Okay, so liwana Tebogo a le ID gona no? We totally beyond when ID how?
And me and my other brother, who 2 years younger than me, we do have ID.
Oh, okay. So how ba hlalosetsa ko department ela o tsamayang ko ena go Home Affairs o ba botsa gore alize gore batswadi ba lona ba go kae ene ke wena fela guardian ya ngwana ba reng fela ba re why ba sa gone gore ba fe ngwana ID?
Ba ke tsama go mo nyaka, and then go ba nyaka batswadi to because bona ba ka tshedi because now a ke motswadi wa ha. But the ID ke la bophelo why need how.
Okay, una le dijara tse kae gana abuti wa hao Tebogo very quickly?
Ona le 20 and he's doing matric now.
Oh, and the ones are already matric exams. All right, Tebogo, kupu mamele mo TV ya hao for the responses after the break. Mbugeli nawe, if you are having a similar situation or problems, do call us, email us, ustole ku SABC Plus, ustole on our YouTube channel. Sikona yonke indawo. We're back shortly after this. We're holding people to account namhlanje ngaindawo. Welcome back. You are watching Yilungelo Lakho live on SABC 1 Mzansi for sure. Sikhuluma Mbugeli phela ngokuthi what are some of the problems that you incur when you visit any of the public service offices? Akhona ke ama guest wami. I have Usis Irene Mathenjwa from the Public Service Commission alongside Untate Emmanuel Kgomo ovela lapha at DPSA. Unfortunately, Home Affairs did not want to come in account today. So, Irene, maybe let's talk about this. I mean, the nature of the calls that we are getting. Uyazi ukuthi they are mostly siding towards Department A1, and I'm sure you can agree also in Kgomo, not that we are singling them out. It seems like there's a specific department, and of which is Yona Egwi base of everything else for ukuthi impilo yomuntu ifunction. They are not functioning. Sis Irene, what can we do to ensure that this department actually works and serves amalokuzana abantu?
So, Sis Alicia, I agree with you. Because of the nature of the work of Home Affairs, is the life and death of
an individual.
Individual. But that doesn't mean that other departments don't have a problem. SASA, just recently we heard about, the hiccups in terms of paying.
It's still ongoing,
It's ongoing. So I think it's good that we're getting these inputs from members of the society, and we're going to know that we're going to make sure that those individual cases are resolved. But what is very important is to get our institutions of government working.
Thank you.
Because they have to work.
Absolutely.
And in the case of Home Affairs, for instance, I think what is coming out now is that those non-routine cases where a mother has died, a mother was born somewhere else, a mother this. So there has to be a special dispensation that the department says we are now going to put energy and focus to deal with these matters. On this day, we are inviting everybody that has got this kind of cases. So it can't be that we're just entertaining 4 people that because they made through the line. There are majority of them. This is just a sample. The department has to face this problem. But Sis Alicia, you spoke about earlier on the recruitment and so on. Akubengifuna ukuphawula ukuthi mhlasimbe sekuyisikhathi dadewethu ukuthi sike sibuka ukuthi ubani lo muntu esithi public servant.
Yebo.
Ufanele yini abe public servant? Ngesikhathini samanje where we are faced with different challenges with public service, yiphi yona i-DNA of a public servant in South Africa? What kind of attitudes and so on?
All right, let's leave it there for now, Sis Irene. I have to run back to Ekefini Mbugeni. And ngathi elokugcina, yey, isikhathi siyagijima. We'll be back shortly after this wind down. Final segment. I don't even want to waste time. Let's get straight to the issues. Ntata Kgomo, look, as much as we appreciate the fact that most of the callers that have come through and issues have been directed specifically at Home Affairs, we also need to undertake the fact that, Mbugeli, it's not all AMA officials asebenze Home Affairs and not all the Home Affairs departments abatreat abantu ngalendlela. But Ntata Kgomo, I want to know from you, some private institutions now, like AMA banks, have actually got a system in place which allows consumers to rate services that they've received from an individual employee. Don't you think then this could perhaps assist in improving services in government institutions as well?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Actually, there are some government offices that have such systems.
Where you can rate the service.
Where you rate the service, yes. But then we are working on developing an integrated system.
Okay.
Not just for a specific department, so that all departments can have access to that information. So the digitalization story is actually unfolding.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. Sis Irene, I mean, maybe in closing, what has been your biggest takeaway? Because I think now what you've given us this afternoon is something of an alternative, because a lot of people just thought, if I'm not winning at Home Affairs, ngiyagwi ombuds or ngiyagwi public protector. But the fact that your office is there and taking issues from the public, what are some of the things, like what is the process yokuthi abantu bezegnina bazology complaint? And also very quickly, usirepele up on how you see a resolution to this whole impasse.
Okay, so as I said, Public Service Commission is there also in 9 provinces. You walk in there, you lodge your complaint, we'll give you a reference number, we'll investigate the case, and then we'll give you feedback. But also we work on resolving the case so that you go away with the service that you want.
Yes.
So for my side, I think we need to work on the issue of the attitude, the ethos, the culture in the public service. Yes, we do have challenges here and there, but I think if we can work on them and working with the citizens so that they understand what are some of the challenges. Where we are not able to meet a service standard, we need to be able to explain to them. They will explain. If we don't get you an ID in 14 days, in 20 days, people will understand. Instead of frustrating them, keeping quiet and sending them to and from. But lastly, again, I think, Sis Alicia, let's also take a moment to appreciate a majority of your public servants that are really dedicated.
Yes,
they wake up.
absolutely,
They work under very
bakhona.
difficult circumstances with dilapidating infrastructure and so on and so on. And they give their all. And those are the people that we say, let's emulate them. Let's learn from them. Let's do as much as possible under the circumstances to give the best service to our people.
Tata Kgomo, in closing, when I know it's Public Service Month, what are some of the initiatives that your office is actually undertaking very quickly? We've got like 2 seconds.
We are promoting the ethics.
Okay.
So that there's ethics management in all departments.
Okay.
We're promoting the Batupili. We actually revitalized the Batupili strategy. So we must actually go out there. We've got a new approach. And that approach includes involvement of the communities. We are saying Batupili must start from an elementary level, at school level.
All right, okay. Tata Kgomo, unfortunately, we're going to have to leave it there because unfortunately, I am out of time. Mbogeni, that is unfortunately where we leave it this week. Yilungelo Lakho with our discussion on public services as we, of course, sigubha a Public Service Month. Thank you so much for your contributions. Siyabonga nalaba basifonele nalaba ku Facebook. We're going to forward amanyama complaints wenu towards amaguests wethu namhlanje. From me, Intokazi Yakajali, guys, let's hold people accountable. If you're not happy with the service, ikhona Public Service Commission, hamba straight to your complainer to the next person ophethe lowo muntu. Ungavani ulahlele nawe izandla elokhuzeni ekhanda uthi awulitholanga usizo. Kwamanje nisale kahle.